What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel again. If you're new here, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, welcome back. So I just got home, and of course, in my lovely grocery getter from the grocery store, and I noticed I did actually have a package out front. Today, I actually got my GoPro Hero 8 in the mail. So needless to say, I'm extremely excited to test this thing out with all the really cool features that came out on this new one. But today's video is gonna be super short for you guys. I'm gonna do a quick unboxing, and I'm gonna go over a couple of the specs that I'm super excited about and kind of show you guys what comes included. Here is the Hero 8 Black, guys. So needless to say, this is a very impressive camera from the new specs that GoPro came out with. And from what I'm told, you're gonna love them or you're gonna hate them. There's some that you're absolutely gonna love and there's some that you're gonna hate. So some of the changes coming over from the 7 are a lot of the call outs and a lot of the reviews that I see, but I'll go into details of those as I pull this apart. But overall, as you can see, the box is typically gonna be the same among all the GoPros. Very presentable, good, clean. They've got the GoPro display at the top, so pretty typical. You can open it down here at the bottom. We'll go ahead and get this opened and crack it open and see what we have inside. Let's see. So it should just pull out here through the bottom. I'll go ahead and set the box right there. And we've got our GoPro mounted on top. So we'll go ahead and get that taken off. Now this is actually my first GoPro. So I guess you could say that's why I'm extra excited to test it out. But there's a few features that have changed since the last 7. One of the big noticeable features is the lens. So the lens on the 7 was a detachable lens. So if it ever cracked when you were using it, doing any type of extreme stunt or anything, it was as simple as just rotating it off, getting a $20 lens and replacing it. With this one, it's actually built into the actual camera itself. I actually read several reviews where people reached out to GoPro to see what it would cost to replace this lens, and they said it would actually end up costing more than the GoPro itself to replace it. So that's kind of a big downfall, especially since these are geared towards, such extreme sports and, a lot of durability. I mean, you're going to be putting this up to the test. So I think that was a huge downfall. Now they do have an actual cage for this. I'll try to put a picture over here of what the cage looks like that you can add to the camera to give it a little bit of protection. It has a removable lens on it. It comes, I believe it's a silicone case that goes around it, but one of the other big feature changes was these mounts here on the bottom. So as you can see, they just pop up, and I have terrible fingernails, so I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get these up, but just to show you guys. So normally the GoPro would have a cage around it, and that's how it would mount. It would have the mounting fingers down the bottom. This new GoPro, which is actually one of the most sought after features that people raved about, is these built-in fingers here that just fold down. Since they're built into the actual GoPro itself, they make it so that when you don't need them, you can just fold them down and they connect basically with just magnets in here to keep them out of the way. And a lot of people argued, what if they break? Well, just 4 screws right here, and they're a $20 replacement on the GoPro's website, so not a huge change if you were to break those for any reason. So really nice that those are on there. You don't have to have the cage on there if you don't want to. So since they have this down here, they had to move the battery mount to the side. So now the battery is down here on the side of it, and you just push down there. Now I did like that they have the red there, so that's how you actually open the door. The red was nice because, if you're taking this out in the water, it kind of shows you it's not closed, it's not safe to take in the water, which was a good thing to know, of course. Now when you open up here, you've got, of course, your battery slot, and you've got your SD card, and of course your charging port there for external accessories. One thing that a lot of people pointed out is if you're doing like a long slow-mo or a time lapse or anything like that, you're gonna wanna have some type of power source typically plugged in here. Now the negative to that is there's no opening here for it. Now they do actually offer a third-party door that you can buy for this. That way it has a little hole there so you can have something plugged in. Now this door itself actually does come off super simple. So you can see that was the first time I've taken it off, and it literally just came right off. One tip I did see is a lot of people were using this to actually get their SD card out, so you can just use the corner and push down in there to actually get your SD card out. But the door goes right back on, super easy. Yep, so it just snaps right on like that. It goes down, and you push it back up to lock it in place. So that's kind of the bigger features that moved and changed on the actual GoPro itself. The door moved to the side, and of course it doesn't have a removable lens cover. Now, some of the pros to that new design is when they made this a non-removable lens, it did make it a little bit thinner. Now they don't have to have the cage on there. It makes it a lot easier to transport. Compared to the Hero 7, I believe this one is taller, wider, and thinner. So that way it's much easier to slip inside your pocket versus the Hero 7. Now the camera itself had some really cool features that they came out with. So on this one, they actually have the Hyper Smooth 2.0, which is really cool. It's supposed to be one of the smoothest recordings you can ever do. They have the time warp as well as the live burst, which is I believe is a new feature. And then they have the let's see, I believe they have the slow-mo as well. Yeah, the slow-mo. But this is a 12 megapixel camera. We can record 4K 60 frames a second. We can record 1080p at 240 frames a second. And I believe 2K at 120. Now, a couple of the cool things on here is it does come with an app. That was one of the things that I enjoyed the most. So you can transfer your data, you can look at your photos, your videos, all of that on there. It syncs up, it's got the GPS and everything as well. Now what comes included in this case, we'll go ahead and open this up and see what goodies they left in here. So we do have the mount right here. And this is what it actually came on. I'll just slide that off. So this is just a little case right here. And it does have this piece of plastic that you just move off. And it's not really necessary. They just put it on there to keep the camera upright during shipping. But you have your mounting piece right here. Throw that out of the way. And we'll go ahead and open up our box and see what we have in there. Let's see. All right, we of course have our literature on top, our manuals, always good things to reference. Let's see, inside the box. All right, let's pull everything out of here. So we've got one curved mount for a surface. We also have our charging cable here. And we have one battery. And I believe that's it. Yeah, so that's everything that comes included in the base kit. Set this over to the side. All right. So this is kind of everything that comes included in the base packaging here. Now, if you notice, if you're familiar with the old batteries for the Hero 5, 6, and 7, this one is a little bit different. And you'll notice this blue strip on the bottom. Now, they did say that these batteries are compatible to be used with the 7 or the 5, 6, and 7, but the batteries for the 5, 6, and 7 are not compatible per se to use with the Hero 8. They said their warning is a few features might not be able to be used with the new camera, some of the hyper smooth and everything as well with the older battery. So I definitely suggest picking up GoPro batteries, the newer ones for the 8. And I suggest picking up a couple extras. I've actually ordered 2 of those today, as well as a battery pack and a few other things. But this kind of shows you everything that comes in. So I know that in the past they used to include not only a curved mount, but also a flat mount. So that was kind of one thing that I noticed they cut back on. The cable, of course, pretty typical. Battery. Now I do wish they would go ahead and include a second battery because you almost always need one. They're gonna always be useful, especially if you're on the go, you're gonna want a second one charged up. But the camera itself, it feels very durable. The outside itself seems very rugged. It doesn't seem like it's gonna get nicked up very much. Now the huge drawback, and I tell you after I bought it is when I actually started digging into the reviews, is the whole thing about the non-removable camera screen or the camera lens. I was very upset about the non-removable camera lens, but what I did is I ordered some tempered glass for both sides. I'm also probably gonna get that cage as well, test that out, see how I like it, see if it's not too bulky. A couple of the other things that I'm actually gonna be buying for this is I've already actually purchased a massive accessory kit. I'll put a picture of it right over here. It was extremely inexpensive. The reviews were amazing. It's on Amazon, as well as I had a lot of other people that were huge GoPro people on YouTube that gave this product, huge raving reviews for what it is. It's an extremely inexpensive kit in the $20 range. And I think it came with like 40 something pieces. So huge bundle kit, and a couple of the pieces I wouldn't use, but you know, just a few of them. If just a few of them are useful, it makes the whole kit worth it. So I'll put those kits down, linked below, if you guys want to check those out. They seem like awesome kits. I'm going to test them out. It's supposed to be here in just a few days, so we'll kind of see how it goes. The actual GoPro functions itself that were interesting is they talked about how it has preset functions. So you have different camera scenes for different situations, whether it's wide angle, whether you want it recording at 60 frames, 30 frames a second, whether you want it recording 4K, 1080p, any type of the other camera adjustments you want to make. So they come with preset ones, but the coolest thing is they allow you to create your own. So when you create your own, if you need to switch between an action scene versus a cinematic scene, you can preset what you want each of those scenes to be and then just click over and switch. Super simple and easy. So that was one really cool feature I liked about this camera. But overall, they say that the hyper smooth is insane. They talk about the actual time warp. So the video footage being able to watch over a sped up time or the slow-mo functions was absolutely awesome. And some of the footage that I saw was just crazy. So super excited to test that out. But overall, I'm probably gonna do another video and show you guys some of the actual footage and how well I actually like this thing overall. So far, I mean, just looking at it, I'm impressed with the build quality, the functions, and just the features that it comes included with. So, all those things together are kind of the reasons compiled that, led me towards buying this. I think it's gonna be a huge asset to my recording, and you're kind of capturing some really interesting moments, especially with all the car stuff that I do. They do actually have a tow hook mount for the GoPro, which I'm excited to look into. Comes from a third-party vendor, so I'm going to look into that and see which one I actually want to go with. But other than that, I'm going to grab some other really high-quality suction cup mounts for the outside of the car to capture some cool footage. Here in the Charlotte area, we do a ton of drives, so it'd be really cool to capture it for some different angles. But overall, so that's kind of the camera there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and throw me a like on the video down below to show some support. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram. And that pretty much sums up for today. So, hope to see you guys in the next one. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching.